Yeah.
These are students.
Living the dream. $2.
I'll get you on the way out. T-shirts. I had my cup of course, but I was rushing in, so.
I know. Who was it? Years ago, somebody during meetings, like always had a big cup. Yeah, we thought, can't smell it. What do you do?
Whereas.
Hmm?
And eventually they
Usually, I have a drink with them all the time. Yeah, he always has.
It is.
Very sad. Yeah.
Must have got one of my chairs last time.
Second place. Second place.
Is that what it was?
We so we came in second place. We had like attend classes, it was like extra work a friend, you know.
Just motivation.
But a bunch of different stuff. She sends a message. I need your extra sheet. So my partner sends it. And I send a message. It's maybe a really bad question. Try to my extra credit too. She says, my friend tells her so on her day. But it's nice to be managed for once. Like, really, that's just me managing everybody else.
It was nice.
It was very nice.
Who's your partner?
She's got 2 kids in the district. They're little, so it's she's only 3.
Okay.
But she works for a Patterson. She works remote from home. So,
Sense of and it's not as productive. I don't know.
I would not.
No. It would actually drive me crazy.
Well, just tell your mom she can sit on the couch with your boss. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, is that what I do? She's like, oh, we're just sure that's what I do.
Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Yes, Jeff? Yes. Steve?
Yes.
Erica? Yes. Andrew?
Yes.
Jill? Yes. Jane? Yes, Chad?
Yes.
Okay, the first item on our agenda is a recognition of visitors. I don't believe there's been anyone to present to the board. We do have a presentation this evening by Southside second graders. With us, we have Carson Uphoff and Emma Nofke, Alexander Prince, and Henry Lloyd. Are you ready to come up to the microphone? If the parents want to video, if you want to come over here to the side, that way you get their faces instead of the backs of their heads.
Don't keep them from performing though. We want to see them in
action here.
Okay,
Talk to the board.
there you go.
Good evening, board members and administration. Thank you for allowing us to come speak to you this evening. I'm Courtney Alpha, and I am Henry Floyd. We are second grade students at Southside in Miss Russell's class. I am Alexandra Prince. And I am Emma Donkey, order and discusser second grade classroom at Southside. And I would like to say that some fun things happening around Southside. On Friday, we are having a cookout picnic for lunch. We are looking forward to having Mr. John's serving as the master. On May 1st, Ag in the Classroom is presenting a petting zoo on the west end of the building. I cannot wait to see what animals we get to see and pet. The Effingham Public Library will be presenting to all of our classes about the summer reading program. I'm excited to hear what prizes they have for reading this summer. Again, thank you all for allowing us to come here. Enjoy the rest of your
Okay, could we have you line up right here in the front, because we probably will have some, well, you could stop right there, that's good. Stand together, side by side.
There you go, back up.
There you go. All right, we have a quiz for you. Were you expecting that part?
No.
No, I didn't think so. I always ask this, what's your favorite upcoming event?
In any sort of.
The ones that you just told us about, which one is your favorite that you're most looking forward to? We'll just go right down the line. You can start. The cookout, why?
Because we get to eat out too.
Oh, that's great. What about you?
The petting zoo.
The petting zoo, what's your favorite animal? Not sure.
Question. First of all, does it have to be from the paper?
Yes, your upcoming events at Southside School, which one are you most looking forward to?
I would say mostly the cookout.
The cookout, is that because maybe you've got a guest celebrity chef? How about you?
For the reading program this summer.
The summer reading program, do you participate in that every year?
Yeah.
Yes. Read lots of books this summer. We don't want you to lose your reading skills. That's great. Thank you for coming this evening. We really appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Thank
Do
you.
any of the other board members have questions?
Was it as bad as you thought it would be talking to us tonight?
No.
You guys look a lot happier now than what you did when you walked in.
Do you know this?
Kinda. Not that, because I'm, if you ever watched Harry Potter, I want to say I'm a part of the House Gryffindor. Confident, brave.
Love that.
That's awesome.
You practice speaking at school?
Yeah. Well, I barely got to because we kind of lost the paper and then.
Did the principal ever let you talk on the speaker to the whole?
No, we didn't know.
You don't really? Would you like me to talk to him about this?
I would do that for my cousin. She's going to second grade next year.
Well, thank you so much for the update. We look forward to hearing more about the activities after they occur. I'm sure we'll be looking for some pictures on Facebook about the events. Have a great night.
If you don't mind, would you shake hands with each of our board members before you go?
Great job. Thank you for coming.
Great job. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Great job. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Good job. Thanks for coming.
Great job.
Great job.
Good job. Find somebody. Good job. Good job.
That's a good job. Very nice. Good job.
I'm not sure what Steve was like as a child, but I think it was a lot like that. Steve.
Available on Friday from 11 to 1. If you want to come to Southside for the cookout, come on over. All right. There's celebrity show.
Bringing the real sweats. I just
Yes, and then we line us right here, so get your picture. No, we'll just do. You just line up right there, yes.
There you go, you getting it? Yep. All right, everybody ready? Okay, good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have 3 high school students with us this evening, Abigail Cochran, Scarlett Sorling, and Kendall Schoonover.
So before they start, let me give you a little bit of a precursor as to how this all got started. Abigail, I believe you reached out to me via email, correct? And asked if you could interview me. And I made a mistake and said yes. Right? And actually, we had a great interview. I think we spent probably 15, 20 minutes. A lot of good dialogue about mental health and the project that they were working on. So after interviewing, I also asked her, asked some questions myself. And one of them was, can I come to your class and listen to your presentation? So I did. And after they spoke, gave me some critiques, right? But also asked if they could come and present to you as a board. Because again, we talk about all the time dealing with mental health situations and things of that nature. And I thought, what better than to have a class or a project that you had chosen in your class to come and share your views with this board. And that's why they're here tonight. We were going to do it in June and we couldn't get it, or not June, in April, but you couldn't get everything ready to go that quick. So, or not April, we're in April now, or March. Sorry. So I'll turn the floor over to you. Thanks for coming.
Sorry,
If you can stay around the microphone, that way people online can hear you. They're not gonna be able to see your video, but for your presentation.
Okay, so, we started with a presentation about mental health at EHS. So as he said, we did a project in comm class where we got to pick what we wanted to do, and we made a survey, and we sent out to the student body. And so this is kind of what we gathered from it, and so we wanted to talk to you guys to see if we could just, so you guys were more aware of either any changes we can make. So this is what we're going through tonight. So for our introduction, studies find that an estimated of 70 to 80% of children with mental disorders go without care. The ultimate question is why? There's simply not enough resources for people with mental health disorders, especially children. Children are also a lot harder to diagnose due to the quick changes occurring in their brains. But today I'm asking you, what can we do? We can be what decreases the statistic. We can make it to where each student, if necessary, feels safe coming to a trusted adult at school. Because, and you've most likely seen it yourself, not every student is going to have that trusted adult at home. No student should feel alone, and having more resources will reduce this significantly.
We have counselors at every school, but as students get older, their needs become more complex. The teenage to young adult age group is when most mental disorders develop. Therefore, the older students get, the more likely they are to need help from an outside source. The counselors are trained in mental health and usually have a passion for helping those with mental disorders. They work with crisis situations and families to help them work through any issues. They can refer to therapists in the community. They have a social worker, from what we understand, though they aren't at the school, but they can be called in. There's a school psychologist, but their main job is supposed to look at statistics, coursework, and to administer tests. You guys are working on an SEL curriculum, but that's starting in the elementary schools. Lastly, students can go to any teacher or administrator they feel comfortable talking to, and they can offer advice or refer them to the school counselor.
For the data, we made a survey that every student should have taken. This first slide is statistics on 2 option questions. So 319 out of 463, or 68.9% students at EHS struggle with their mental health. This is over half of the student body. Therefore, this shows that this is something that students are needing resources for. 174 out of 463, or 37.6% of students, didn't know EHS had mental health resources. We defined mental health resources in our survey as any staff or service that improved your mental health that was provided at EHS. This is alarming because if students aren't aware of these resources, they are not getting the help that they need, leading to grades dropping and attendance dropping. 254 out of 463 students, or 54.9% of students, feel there are not enough of mental health resources. This result may be slightly skewed due to the fact that so many students didn't know that we had mental health resources, but it is still something important to consider. On our survey, we left a space for students to leave suggestions. Some noteworthy suggestions were to have a space to decompress. We feel that sometimes you're just having a bad day, and if you're not doing well mentally, your report will reflect that. Having a space where a student may occasionally decompress or take a quick break to calm down and refocus may be helpful. Another suggestion was having an area where you can leave your name in a box and counselors can come talk to you. There currently are whiteboards we can write your name on, but it's easily for names to get erased or just for that to not be like, that can easily be overlooked just hanging on the wall and it's not like a physical form or something. Since a lot of students weren't aware of the resources, making announcements about the counselors or having theme months to promote the counselor's office would be beneficial in getting the word out that there are resources for students available. Having a mental health class. Now, we don't know exactly what the social emotional learning curriculum involves, but students at the high school level are wanting educated on mental health. Therefore, we feel that including this curriculum at the high school level will be helpful for students who are struggling. The last suggestion from students is checkup days. In your senior year, the counselors meet up with you to check in on how you're doing and see your future plans. But we feel like if we implement this with all the grades, it prevents students who are struggling from slipping through the cracks and not being noticed. And then lastly, we interviewed some staff, and one of the counselors mentioned that there simply aren't enough people to help the students with the workload they have, and said it might be beneficial to adding a professional whose job is solely to help students who are struggling.
Why is this important? All of us here in this room have mental health, whether bad, good or bad. Mental health issues are only on the rise, therefore. If we can get these resources we need before it gets out of control, that's going to benefit so many students. So I'm asking you to consider students' mental health and the importance of it. There's a lot of disconnect between staff and students. Students aren't feeling heard. That's why we came here to talk to you. While you guys are making lots of strides, some students just aren't able to see that. The younger grades are definitely seeing improvement and have a lot of positive things to say, but we shouldn't stop there. Thank you all so much for listening to us today, and you guys are doing a great job. And are there any questions?
So let me throw a couple things in while they're thinking maybe a question or two. And I have spoken to them just briefly, not elaborate, because there's a lot of things going on in the district that board members are a part of, our curriculum committee's been a part of. We've got some pilot programs out there with some curriculum that we're working on. So there is a lot, how do I say this? There is a lot of work being done behind the scenes right now. When I looked at this data, I felt good on one level and not good on another, partly because the other side to mental health, in my opinion, is it needs to be a confidential situation a lot of times. So if we're over-advertising things and over-promoting things, we really are having a hard time keeping that on a confidential level, and I think we want to make sure we respect that. So I appreciate their view, and that I've told them that. I think it's neat that they came here tonight to an unsolicited view. I did ask them to run that through the administration of their building, so they're aware of what's being said, and I did see it. Prior to it, I didn't make any changes to what you provided, right? Because I wanted you to come and be able to speak your voice and for this board to be able to hear what you're talking about as kiddos in our building. So I appreciate that, but there is more coming, lots more coming. But also, as I told you before, I would ask that you continue to work with us to help make sure that it's enough if for some reason you find out that it's not. That makes sense? Yeah. I'll stop and they can ask questions or.
I was just curious, did you get any feedback from the students on how they thought we could do a better job of educating them about the different resources available?
We didn't ask that question specifically, but we did do some interviews with students.
Mhm.
You know, as us three as a whole, we've struggled with our mental health. Like, this is something very personal to us. And school has been one of the resources that we have gone to for help. And I think for a class, I think something like, I'm going to help class your freshman year, they talk about mental health, but something like with educating, like an elective where you could, like that's based on like mental health and like ways you can cope with it and like.
Oh, sure.
Like something like that, or like just promoting it, like just something like, obviously confidentiality is a big thing. Me and Scarlett, you're in health office, we do a lot of confidentiality and FIPA, so we understand the laws with that. And like with promoting it, like just letting students know the counselors, like, because when you look at school counselors, you look at them as like academic advisors, like we don't really see them as mental health professionals. Because when they come and talk to us, it's always about school stuff. Like when they're promoting stuff with them, it's always with the school stuff. Like, oh, we're having a day coming up, like we have decision day tomorrow where we can go take a picture in the library with what college we're going to. And, or like it's with taking like the SAT or the ACT, I haven't taken the SAT at school. So just like having something where like it just shows that the counselors are like the mental health resources for students would be helpful.
Yeah, at my company, we struggle with that too. Sometimes is making our team members aware of what's available. We did implement an online scheduling, which I know a lot of healthcare providers in the area do that as well. It might be something else to look at as, you know, with Google Calendar, for you to be able to put yourself into the schedule with the counselor directly versus, and you could still keep it confidential that way. Thanks for coming to present that.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
have a question about, one of the slides about, like 64% of students struggle with mental health. Can you go back to that slide? And 69%. So can you tell me what question you asked to elicit that answer?
So we basically we asked, like the question we asked was, do you struggle with your mental health? Like
So I guess what I'm trying to get at is what is the definition of mental health? And maybe it's different for different kids. Because I think this is a good start. It's good to start the dialogue, but we're not really understanding what the kids are struggling with. And I know that wasn't the point of doing this, but I was just wondering if the question was more specific or.
No, it was more of a vague question because we didn't want like to get data from the project we had to do. Like this was the easier format, was more vague, so you could answer like a yes or no question or have like choice answers. But for this, I mean, like if you were to go deeper into it, like you could, I don't know what like the technicalities you have to follow for that, but I'm sure that there could be like a next year that could go deeper into it.
But we also did that question where it was like, how many days did your mental health negatively affect you? And that like showed that it was also quite a few students who thought that their mental health was negatively affecting them a majority of the time.
I think like where I would go with like asking the question of like students have you ever struggled with mental health? You can't really like clearly define how every kid struggles with their mental health because for every kid it's kind of different too. So I mean, that's not something we could just completely define for every student either. It's kind of depending on what they.
And again, you were in a class project, and I asked it to go a little bit deeper by coming here, so that you've probably gone deeper. But why don't you share a little bit of what your plans are for after high school?
So I'm going to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. I'm going to major in biochemistry and physiology. And I'm going to go to med school and become a pediatric oncologist. I'm also going to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. I'm going to major in biochemistry and physiology, to then go to med school and then become a surgeon. For me, I'm going to the University of Dubuque in Dubuque, Iowa. I'm double majoring in elementary education and then also a theology degree, which I hope to get a master's in divinity to become a pastor or something.
If that right there doesn't excite you as a board member, I don't know what I can do. Because it's impressive to hear our kids and their futures and to know that, again, I think we're talking about a subject of mental health, right? But you're able to process some of those things and still look for your future and do all the things that you do. We're proud of every product that comes through here. So thank you for what you're doing in our school. And again, thanks for the information tonight and the willingness to have these conversations with adults, because you are what we're all about.
What he said. Thank you.
Proud of them.
Yes, we are.
Good luck on your journeys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Come back and see us in 5 years and let us know where you are. That is a goal of this board and our administration too, is to start tracking our graduates to know, what are they doing today and where are you? Are you back in Effingham? Did you move to California? What are you doing now? So keep in touch, because we'll want to hear from you.
Do you want
Thank
to
you.
Picture of them.
Yeah, get a picture, and do you guys want to
Yeah,
shake
you can
hands?
shake hands.
We'll do your picture first, and ready? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Good job.
Awesome job. Awesome job.
Thanks for coming.
Awesome job. Best of luck.
Okay, raise your hand if you're here for Mr. Hammer's government class.
Ask him which one's going to do the next presentation.
Pardon?
Ask him who's going to do the next presentation.
We don't have one.
Oh,
It's next month.
okay.
If you're here for government class, let's go around and introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Destiny Sprackman.
Drew Huntford.
I'm Chloe Blackwell. I'm Audrey Wagner. I'm Monica Ray. I'm Ray Holland. I'm Kendall Schoonover. I'm Gracie Holland. I'm Jamie Schaffer. I'm Amaya Robinson.
I'm Paige Hill. Katie Nichols. I'm Sir.
Thanks for coming tonight. We hope you learned something. And there's a couple of open seats if you want to have a seat. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is the financial report.
All right, looking at fund balance, we're showing an increase of 5.96% over last year, with a net fund balance of $27,661,934.48. Looking at the operating funds, we're showing an increase of 8.42% over last year, with a net total of $24,500,192.99. Revenues in the Ed Fund, local revenue, we received $479,143.45. State revenue, $594,005.63. And federal revenue, $987,159.46. Those expenses over 5,000 are listed for you. And then recommendation would be to reimburse the imprest account in the amount of $2,083.01 and the payment of bills in the amount of $1,193,347.50.
Does anyone have any questions for Mrs. Baker?
I had one, one of the expenses for, I believe it was truck centers, it was over $5,000. Is that in any way related to us not being able to hire a technician to help with some of those repairs or costs, or was this something completely different?
So part of that bill, about 3,000 of that is due to bus repair that we had to service out. Some of that does have a software update that our buses have to have, so that's about $1,500 of that bill.
Okay.
So we do that annually.
I just want to try to monitor those going forward because we definitely want to get the best people we can to fill those kind of roles. Otherwise, that was the only thing I saw that stood out.
Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, I am looking for a motion and a second to approve the financial report to reimburse the imprest account in the amount of $2,083.01 and the payment of bills in the amount of $1,193,347.50.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Chad. Second by Andrew. Roll call.
Steve,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Jessica.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. There's minutes enclosed in your packet. The cafeteria report is enclosed. The student teacher list, there are 6 different student teacher, not so much all student teachers, but some are, no, they are all student teaching experiences. We have an SLP at Southside, an English student teacher at EHS, another English teacher, student teacher at EHS, a PE teacher at EHS, another PE teacher at Central and the junior high, and a school counselor at ELC and Southside. Field trips, there are none. The summer band camp schedule is enclosed. We have a percussion camp from June 10th through the 14th, regular band camp from July 18th through the 12th, and the second band camp from July 22nd through the 26th. That's for all grades 9 through 12. The football cheerleaders would like to hold a fundraiser as well as the basketball cheerleaders. And those are all in your packet. The details are in there. And then there's also a list of items that the district is in surplus of that will be either sold or given away. And I thought I had printed out that list, but I don't have it with me. Those are in your packet.
We try to find somebody that could utilize the equipment and the things that we would be getting rid of first, and if all else fails, which does happen, we throw it in the dumpster.
So, will we have like a sale or anything, or how do we normally do that?
Some bigger items we were gonna send to Schmidt auction to see if we can get some money out of it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Not really want to have sales on the property
No,
right now.
I understand.
I will say on the fundraisers, students, don't be afraid to come to the board meetings and hit us up from time to time, or whoever the sponsors are. So I'm interested in the hog raffle, so whenever that comes. Or just look up Hannah Thompson at the high school. Comparison.
Hog raffle and popcorn sales.
And popcorn, yes. I'm a big fan of both.
I'm also a big fan of the student coming to me to ask me and not the parent advertising. on
That's true.
Facebook. Just a little blurb there. Any questions about the consent agenda? I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Second?
second by Erica. Roll call.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
I don't believe we have any correspondence this week, so next on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
For your foundation report, first of all, looks like, I do think it's worthy to note that there will be 62 scholarships for this year that are offered. So I think that's, I'm not sure what that is in comparison to the past, but that's awful good. Appreciate that. Easter egg project report, they sold about $750. Profit expenses was about $400. Gold check will be coming soon for that. Teacher appreciation report will finalize at the April 17th meeting, which I don't think we have anything from that. So we will hit for that. I guess we've got upcoming events. Teacher Appreciation Day was April 18, which was last week. Russ Marble Scholarship Celebration will be on Monday, May 6th from 5 to 7 out at the small gym at the high school. And the last meeting of the year is May 3rd. Enrollment is 2,296 students, 6 less students than the previous last month and 16 less than last year. I will say, while we're at the enrollment conversation, some community engagement meetings that we've had recently that, and I've had lots of people reach out and say, with declining enrollment, why would you be looking to build new buildings and things of that nature? I would hope people would understand and be on board with the idea that if we build bigger and better and provide more space and more opportunity for more programs, then we're going to be in a position to hopefully see that increase in enrollment as we move forward. So I think that's a good place to throw a plug in there about, when people are asking questions about if you got declining enrollment, why would you build a new building? I think it would be good to send them my way or you speak with those people to help them to understand that, again, status quo is, in my opinion, kind of where we're at, and if we just maintain our buildings. But if we're looking at, and I don't think we've got it in here, but we're looking at adding an ag program next year, some things of that nature. We don't really have the space to do all of what we have and do some of those other things. So I would like to hope that the more we offer, the more enticing it is to people to move to our community and be a part of those programs that we're expanding. So that's my solution to let's not decline enrollment, let's increase enrollment. That is a goal of mine. Actually, that was a conversation that took place 2 years ago in the interview process with all of you that interviewed. How we find ways to do that. And I think we're making moves in that direction to hopefully stand behind what was said in that interview process. FOIA information, did have multiple FOIAs, actually from the same gentleman. Ty Griffin had reached out. Actually, I've had a conversation with him by cell for several hours one night, but went ahead and asked for some information through FOIA dealing with information about the 1% sales tax. We wanted the presentation for what basically was entailed in that. That is also, I think, is online for anybody to view if you wanted to see that. That's from the community engagement meetings and the presentations that took place at CES 1, 2, and 3, which all 3 have been completed now. That's basically what the second one was. It's basically.
Michael says.
Oh,
One
that's
more
in the
page
middle
over,
there.
yeah.
Gotcha. Also, one budget documents that tell how much Unit 40 spends on their administrators and principals and salary and benefits, both individuals and a group collectively. Then we had a pretty significant size FOIA request from Michael Lincoln and the Teachers Association, asking information, a lot of salary information, positions that were added, hard to fill position information, starting pay for hard to fill, EAB for the last 6 years, audit reports and audit summaries for the last 10 years. So I think we've honored all of those to the extent that we can. Questions about FOIAs?
You just tell them what a FOIA is, because those in that class may not know what that.
Yeah, it's Freedom of Information Act is what it is. actually any government entity such as ours that's funded by tax services is what I call voidable. See the Freedom of Information Act, that's a good point. That,
Yeah. It's good to know what that is.
Yeah. Generally, for the most part, the district, since I've been here, the 2 years that I've been here, a lot of times what you'll see is salaries for individuals and things like that from companies, retired teachers, retired employees, things of that nature, a lot of times are fall into that category.
Usually pretty data driven.
Yes. Hey, Andy, too, do we, I know it's more, but do we keep tabs on our cost to get that information out once it's completed? Because I would like to know that cost.
Yep.
And I think the public ought to know that cost as well.
We can do that. That's the other thing that, through some of these requests that we just received, a lot of it's on our website. So you can go there and get it yourself. But we can gladly provide it.
Sure.
It just takes some labor, and there's always a cost behind the labor.
Yep.
But fortunately for this business, we are a transparent business and produce probably more information than most companies ever produce in their life. And it's really not hard to find. So, but there's good and bad to that. Good is it keeps us on our toes. And we don't mind that. Bad is it costs us a little bit of money sometimes to be able to produce some of that information. So next is full steam. Any questions on that? Even out with your students, any questions there? Nope. You want me to come to your history class and give you even deeper dives into that? I have an extensive background. Not from this history. Full Steam Ahead summer program and basically some summer programs. The Full Steam Ahead program is, I want to say first through sixth grade. We did this last summer. Went over really, really well. We're doing it again this summer. That's through Julie and her daughters, I believe. Julie's from down around the Louisville area. Really looking forward to that. We're dealing obviously with science, technology, engineering, art, math, just a lot of good activities for our kids. Again, another piece for this summer is the Bench Works. I have not, this gentleman lives out in my neighborhood or not far from Jane actually, and I've never seen it in operation, but I've been told he's got this trailer and he goes to parties and he does, for kids and things like that. It's incredible. So we're gonna team up with him this summer for grades 1st through 5th. That'll be in June 25th through 27th. And then we have a camp startup, which is actually, I believe, run through the Chamber of Commerce this year. But we're helping advertise it and help promote for students to be a part of that as well. It's for students ages 11 through 15. We're housed at the high school, and that'll be July 31st through August 1st. I will say, and I appreciate Shelley Beck doing a lot of legwork on this year. We started some of this with Teams for Tools last year, and that will be offered again this year as well for our students. Not to the extent that it was last year. Last year was a pilot program that we kind of worked out with Lakeland. They want to expand it to other school districts other than just Effingham. We just like to take care of more of my kids. We need to share a little bit, and we can. So there will be lots and lots of opportunities, and we're looking for more over the years to offer students in the summertime. And the last piece I have on there, we are planning to do the 410s again this summer, unless you would have an issue of any kind. If you don't, we'd like to start that the week of May 28th, and then we'll finish the week of July 29th, which would mean the first Friday back, full week of work for the exams and administration will be August 9th, which will turn around that next week. We'll probably be in more than that, but that's what we're advertising as office hours. Any issues with us doing that again? Okay. Thank you. That was very well received and appreciated by all of our staff. be a part of that. And that's it.
Okay. Next on the agenda is new business. The first item is the IESA membership renewal. The letter is in your packet, and this would allow the junior high to be a part of IESA. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the district's annual membership in IESA for the 2024-25 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Steve,
Sorry.
second by Chad, roll call.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Next on the agenda is the catastrophic and voluntary student accident insurance renewal.
There's no additional cost from last year to this year, so it stays at $1,390. We renew it annually.
Any questions? Okay, I'm looking for a motion, a second, to approve the renewal of catastrophic and voluntary student accident insurance from First Agency through AIG and Guaranteed Trust through, or Guaranteed Trust GTI at the cost of $1,390 for fiscal year 25.
Motion,
Motion by Erica. Second by Andrew, roll call.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of registration fees for the 24-25 year. It's in your packet and broken down.
I didn't see any, there was no increase. Anything was it? Meals, yeah.
Oh,
the
this
meals.
one up?
Required to.
Okay,
And really what we've done this year, so that you know, is in the past that you did not approve this entire list, but I tried to compile everything that we do in the district. We'll do this from now on, so that it makes it easier to put it in one place. And so we're not searching all over to find those kind of things, so that's the first time that will be done this manner.
Okay.
The only difference,
looks like meals just went up 10 cents per.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
state mandates that.
Okay. All right, any questions about these? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the 24-25 fee list as presented.
Motion?
Motion by Chad,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Bishop,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval to purchase a van.
Yeah, we're actually going to do D to after closed session, so folks aren't shocked. That's the approval of the little hearts,
Okay. So we need to discuss some of that.
right, because of the salary schedule, it's a closed session topic, and it will come out and act on that. So yes, E is next.
Okay, so we'll go on to letter E, which is the approval to purchase one van from Northside Ford. And that is a 2023 Chrysler Voyager with 11,815 miles on it. Is this just for like district use, or is it a driver's ed van, or what is it for?
I think it comes in, you can use this driver's ed when we first get them. This is, you approved for us to go get two vans at a maximum of $38,000 back several months ago. That was $32,850. We kept it well under.
32,850 and includes the registration fees and plates.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? Looking for a motion, a second, to approve the purchase of one 2023 Chrysler Voyager van as presented. Motion by Andrew,
I'll second.
second by Jane, roll call.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Bishop, Steve,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Jill.
Yes. Okay, so does this mean we're tabling? it?
Yeah, we'll table the next item, which is the district handbook, to another meeting. And part of that is because if you approve, which I hope you will, the agreement down lower with Wishing Human Resources, they help when we bring them on board as part of the fees, is to look at our handbooks and we would like to run that through them after tonight. And it might come back in May, or it might come back in June once we had a deeper dive. That handbook's not been looked at for quite some time, and I did seek some input from our attorneys, but they told us we really ought to have some more work done to it. They would like to do it, but I think we've decided that we would let those use because we're already gonna pay them to do that kind of work, so it will save us some money. So yes, we'll table that to another meeting, and I won't put it back on the agenda until it's
ready.
ready to be done.
Good
Yes.
deal. Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval for the 2024-25 final calendar. We have approval.
We can run out.
Which way are we at? This one first, okay.
Yeah, we had final approval from the state for the professional development days to move to full days instead of half days like we had in the past. So that's what we were holding up, a tentative calendar at the last board meeting for. So tonight, we should be able to, if you're okay with it, move to approve the final calendar. There were no changes made from the last of the tentative.
Okay, so we'll have now full day professional development days instead of those half day school improvement days.
That's correct.
And those are already on the calendar.
Correct.
So starting date, first day of school, are you listening? Oh, you're seniors, you don't care. Starting date will be Monday, August 12th for staff and Tuesday, August 14th. Well, how can Monday be the 12th and Tuesday be the
We'll put that in.
So Monday is when?
Let's try Wednesday, August 14th will be the first.
Wednesday, August 14th for students. So is staff coming back on Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, on the
Okay,
12th, sorry.
so they have 2 days.
They have 2 days, they're
Okay.
Monday and Tuesday, and the students come on Wednesday.
Okay, kiddos back on Wednesday, August 14th. And EHS finals will be prior to Christmas break. Okay, I'm looking for a motion and second to approve the 2024-25 final calendar as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew, second by Desha, roll call.
Chad, yes. Desha?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane abstain.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of the memorandum of understanding between the city of Effingham and Unit 40 schools for the SRO program.
Correct.
Kim.
But basically, we came off with a 3-year contract with them. So they upgraded this to a 3-year contract starting for next year with the expense of paying $31 per student for 24-25, $32 for 25-26, and $33, basically just increasing $1 per student for 26-27. So it's a 3-year agreement.
Okay.
It's a pretty reasonable cost. We appreciate the city being willing to do that.
Okay, any questions about that? Okay, I'm looking for a motion, a second, to approve the memorandum of understanding between the city of Effingham and Unit 40 as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Chad,
Second.
second by Erica, roll call.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Desha?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of agreement with Bushu Human Resources. Do you want to speak a little bit about this, please?
So we would be seeking approval for Wishu HR for their full retainer service. What they would provide to us is in your packet. I have bulleted just kind of highlighting what some of those things are. Mr. Johnson talked about handbooks and policy. We would utilize them for job descriptions, online training. We currently use them already for the FMLA and the insurance portion of it. So this would also help us with those, post-performance and termination and employment laws and questions related to that. So the cost would be $1,050 a month, which is about $12,600 a year. We currently pay $4,895 a year, so it's an increase, but we feel like we could decrease our lawyer fees and costs with bringing this service on.
Does anybody have any questions?
I've utilized them before, and I think they do a great service, and it may also allow us to benchmark some things on different policies, how other districts are handling things. So I think it's a great opportunity for us, good partner.
And the cost is unlimited, no matter how much we reach out to them for all the things.
Correct, it's unlimited at that monthly rate.
A lot of people use it. Out of school.
And there's a brochure in your packet that goes over all of the all in depth of what they do for each entity and each service. Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve Bushu HR for a full return year of service at the cost of $1,050 monthly.
I'll make it.
Motion by Jane,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Lisha?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Eric? Yes.
Okay, next on the agenda is job descriptions and the approval as such for the CTE programs and pathways coordinator, K through 12, and the dean of students at Southside. Is there any conversation or questions about that?
Both of those have been posted, and the deadline was today, I believe. And we have 9 applicants for the first one, the CTE programs and pathways. We have 10 applicants for the dean of students position. And we have very good applicants, is
That
what
is
I will
awesome.
tell you. Oh,
It's becoming very
exciting.
competitive.
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the job description for the CTE programs and pathways coordinator, which is K through 12, and the dean of students at Southside Elementary.
Motion?
Motion by Erica,
Second.
second by Andrew, roll call.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Lisha?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Erica? Yes. Andrew?
Next on the agenda is the first reading of press policy updates. In your packet, you'll see where our state association has updates for policies. So this is just the first reading where there's no action, but in your packet, you'll find postings following postings for policy review and public comments. And those are 240, 260, 2140, 2260, 2265, 2270, 420, 4165, 4190, 510, 520, 5100, 5120, 5300, 660, 6185, 710, 720, 7180, and 7185. So take a look at those. There's no action this time.
Those of you in the public, there's the stack that press sends us that she just read. That happens 2 or 3 times a year for us, right?
Yes.
Our wonderful legislators are fighting over about 4,000 bills that turn into that next after they come out of session. So Michelle doesn't think very highly of me when she shows up. So Michelle takes care of that for her. Once you approve them, that's when they go to the website, we move forward. So
Don't really have a choice to not approve them, so.
not much.
Okay, next on the agenda is the approval to purchase a new floor scrubber for the junior high.
So, I've included in your packet the model that we're looking at. It's very similar to what we have. Ours is dated at the junior high, and it's constantly having to be worked on, or it's leaving a trail of water. So they just would like to purchase a new one at the cost of $16,500.
Any questions or comments? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the purchase of a Tomcat Pro V2 fix squeegee floor scrubber from Crossroads Truck Equipment at the cost of $16,500. Motion by Andrea,
Second.
second by Steve, roll call.
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Jessica? Steve?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew? Jill?
Yes. Mr. Zapp, you're just in time.
For closed session.
For closed session.
At this time, we will, I'll be looking for a motion in a second to enter into closed session for the following items. A, student discipline. B, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district. And is there any other points? Sorry.
Purchase or lease of real property.
Okay, purchase or lease of real property for the use of the district, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired. D, collective negotiating matters between district and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. And lastly, letter E, litigation when an action against, affecting, or on behalf of the particular district has been filed and is pending before court or administrative tribunal, or when the district finds that an action is probable or imminent in which the basis for finding shall be recorded and entered into the closed meeting minutes. Do I have a motion? Motion by Andrew, second by Chad, roll call.
Chad?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes.
Okay, before we go into closed session, students, thank you for coming. I hope you learned something this evening. You don't have to stick around for us to return out of closed session.
Do they need to?
Do you need signatures?